Good evening. Well, on what is Wednesday evening for me, but maybe morning or afternoon for you. My name's Marie, and I'm one half of the Exhale Awakening. And somewhere on your screen is Sharyn, who is the other half of the Exhale Awakening. And tomorrow, last year, we had our first midweek exhale. So we are a year old. And our midweek exhales they're a pause in the middle of the week. They're a time to just rest and allow things to fade away for 1 hour and take some proper, tell your nervous system that you're safe so that you can get some proper rest. And that's the purpose of them. And in this session, we have chosen our favorite breaths. Now, when I say we've chosen our favorite breaths, we could have chosen another six each, but it wouldn't have been an hour then. So we chose two breaths that we particularly like. For anybody who's new to us, our sessions always have the same shape. We do four different breath styles. Each breath style begins with birdsong and finishes with silence. And the combination of the breath, the birdsong, and the silence is what does all the magic. Because the birdsong signal to our ancestors that they were safe, because if the birds were singing, there were no predators. Um, and we still, in our brain, when we hear birdsong, we still get the same signals. And it moves us into our parasympathetic nervous system. The silence also moves us into our parasympathetic nervous system, but the silence also allows our brain to create new neural pathways. So when we sit in silence, it's not that we're not doing anything, because physically maybe we're not doing anything, but when we give our body the space of silence, lots of magical things begin to happen inside that really only happen when we offer the silence. And that's why we use the birdsong and silence. Our breaths in this session, we're going to begin with breath awareness. Then we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. Then we're going to do slow breathing, and we're going to finish with coherence. Now, you don't have to remember any of that because we will guide you through each one, but sometimes people like to know before we begin what the journey looks like. So that's what the journey looks like. We have one rule here at the Exhale Awakening, and that is to be comfortable. So make sure that you have everything that you need for your physical comfort. So maybe a blanket in case you get cold, maybe water, anything you need for your physical comfort. That also means that when you're breathing, if maybe you feel like moving, feel free to move. The one thing we would ask you not to do is stand up, because when we breathe consciously, it affects the chemical balance of our inside our body, and it can lead to lightheadedness. And if you stand up quickly, there is a danger that you'll fall. So if something happens that you do have to attend to, please allow your breathing to come back to its natural rhythm, and then just give it a moment or two before you get up. Now, our rule is be comfortable. However, it's called breath work for a reason. Sometimes it leads us to places that maybe feel a little less comfortable. And the invitation, if that happens in this session, the invitation is to check in with your body, how you feel, and to maybe sit with that discomfort just for a short while. We'll never ask you to push through. We'll never ask you to get to the other side of it or any of those things. That's not the way we work. But sometimes just sitting with the discomfort and being there you can learn things from it. And also sometimes it begins to soften. And that's sort of what we're looking for. Also, if, as I said, the breath styles that we were going to do in this session, if you kind of went, oh, I don't like that one, which I probably would do at time for breath styles, the invitation is to try it like it was the first time trying it. Because sometimes we breathe in a particular style and we don't like it. But on a different day, when we feel differently, when whatever is different, the breath style can feel different. So giving all of them a go, but always knowing that this is your journey, this is your hour. And anything, when you've given it a go that doesn't feel right, either go back to a different breath style or go back to your natural breath style. And if one of them you're going, yeah, even though I'm still not doing that, that's okay too. That's absolutely okay too. This is your time. This is your time for you. We're going to guide, but it is all invitational. Listen to your body. Do what feels right for you in this session. I think that's nearly all I have to say. You can do this either seated or lying down. If seated, please make sure you're properly supported. And if you're lying down and maybe you have a pillow under your head, make sure it's not too high because it can obstruct the airways and the breath, it doesn't flow as freely. So all that being said, get yourself comfortable and we're going to begin. And just allowing the bird song, just allowing it to do its magic, to begin to do its magic. And as you begin to settle, maybe just taking a few moments to notice. So noticing what's present in your body right now. Just bringing some attention to your body and noticing if there's tightness or tingling, maybe heat, cold. Just noticing what's there. And as you notice, not feeling the need maybe to judge it or to analyze it, just notice it. And even noticing if by bringing focus to it, maybe it changes slightly. And then bringing your attention to your mind and noticing, are there lots of thoughts buzzing about? Maybe your mind's quiet. And again, no judgment, no criticism, just noticing what's there. And then just noticing how you feel in this moment. And not searching too hard for the answer. And then bringing your attention to your breath. And noticing where your breath's landing. Not where it should land or where you'd like it to be landing, but where is it landing in this moment? And there's no need to change it yet. Sometimes when we focus on it, it changes in spite of us, and that's okay. Just allowing it to be. Bringing your attention to your inhale and your exhale. And maybe you're finding it hard to find your breath. And that's okay too. Just having patience and allowing it. And keeping as much of your attention as you can on your breath. But also knowing that your mind might bring you away, or there might be distractions, but you can always come back. As soon as you notice, gently bringing your focus back. Maybe noticing where you feel movement in your body as you breathe. And maybe without changing anything, can you notice any other movements? Even small, tiny movements. And we've just over a minute before we go into the silence for the first time. So maybe can you bring a little bit more focus to your breath? Even if it's just a tiny bit more. And as we approach the first silence, just resting in the silence. There's nothing you have to do, just rest.
as the birdsong begins, just taking a moment to reflect on the first silence. How did it feel to be just you, your breath, and the quiet? And for the breath, in this next segment, we're going to breathe with alternate nostril breathing. And this is one of my favorites because physiologically our nose does this naturally. In about a 2-hour cycle, our breath is focused on either the left nostril or the right nostril, and then it switches back throughout the day. And I love that idea of balance. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do this by closing off, taking our right hand and using our thumb to close off our right nostril. And we're going to breathe in through our left nostril. We're going to change over at the top, close off the left nostril, breathe out through the right, in through the right, and then do the change over at the top again, breathing out through your left and in through your left. And we're going to carry on flipping left to right, always changing over at the top. So just find your own rhythm. You don't have to count, just inhale as long as it feels good. Swap over at the top. Exhale as long as it feels good. Inhaling again back through the same nostril. Swapping over at the top and repeating. And we're not far off approaching halfway through the breath. And if you feel like you need a rest, just letting your hand fall down to your lap, and breathing naturally for a little while. But if you're happy carrying on with the alternate nostril, then just keep going. And if your mind wanders, don't worry, just bring it back to the breath that we're doing now. Alternate nostril breathing. Breathing in through one nostril, holding and changing over at the top of the inhale, exhaling, and inhaling through that same nostril before holding, swapping over at the top again and exhaling. And we've got just over 30 seconds left now, so just committing to your last round. And on your final exhale, just allowing your hand to fall down to your lap. Noticing if you can feel a sense of expansion or balance, or you fill in the blank. What do you feel as we rest in the silence?
And as the birdsong brings that silence to a close, reflecting on how that silence felt. Maybe it was identical to the first silence, but also maybe it was very different. And just noticing that. And in our next segment, we're going to focus on slowing our breath down. And I really like this breath because the idea that slowing our breath down causes so many good things to happen inside. Yeah, that fills me with joy. So we're going to begin by noticing our breath as it is right now. And just noticing our inhale and exhale. And maybe you want to count without changing your breath just to notice, but you absolutely don't have to. And as the music begins, maybe focusing on lengthening your inhale just a little bit and lengthening your exhale a little bit. And without pushing or forcing, when we begin to slow down our breaths, sometimes we feel, it's called air hunger, we feel a need to breathe more, knowing that you can always stop and take a deeper breath. So just very gradually slowing your breath down. And maybe you can notice where you feel the breath. Can you feel it in your nose? Maybe you have a sense of it at the back of your throat, in your chest, all the way down to the sides of your ribs and your belly. Feeling as much of that journey of the breath as you can. Or maybe you can find a beat in the music that helps you to slow your breath down. It helps you to make the inhale and exhale just a little longer. And noticing how that slower breath feels in your body. And if it's beginning to feel forced, just take in a natural, normal breath in. And then moving back to slowing your breath down just a little. And maybe you might want to begin to notice the pause at the top of the inhale and the pause at the bottom of the exhale. Maybe resting in that pause just for a second or two. Maybe you can slow your breath down just a fraction more. We're in our last minute. Maybe slowing it down just a little bit more. And after your next exhale, just allowing your breath to come back to its natural rhythm as we get ready to rest again in the silence.
And as the birdsong once again brings the silence to a gentle close, just noticing what's happened in your body. Maybe you felt your shoulders drop just a little. Maybe you felt yourself yawn. And maybe nothing at all. That's okay too. And for our final breath in this session, we're going to breathe with coherence breathing. The basic essence is that we breathe in and out through the nose, if that's available to us, and we match our inhale with our exhale. So if we breathe in for 3, we breathe out for 3. We breathe in for 4, we breathe out for 4, etc. And you can do this by counting in your mind. You can get a feel or a sense of it in your body. Or if you'd like to bring hand mudra into this, you can actually just bring your finger, each individual finger to your thumb, just counting gently as you do. So just let your next breath fall out of you and wait down at the bottom of your breath. And then we will inhale 2, 3, and exhale 2, 3. Inhale 2, 3, and exhale 2, 3. And if that felt a little quick for you, breathe for the count of 4 or 5. And if it felt a little quick for you, just speed up the counting a little bit. Allowing yourself to settle into your rhythm. There's no need to push. We're just looking to bring coherence into your breath. So let it settle wherever is soft and gentle for you. And just check in with how the breath feels in your body. Maybe it might feel like time to extend the count and just add maybe one more. Or maybe you might feel like you've been overextending and you want to take a count off. Just feel into your body and adjust the rhythm for the last 90 seconds. Gentle inhale, gentle exhale. No pause. And on your next exhale, just let your breath return back to your natural rhythm. As you turn your attention to the last silence and the rest that it holds.
And as the birdsong begins for a final time in this session, just taking a few moments to reflect. Reflect on what the silence had for you, but also to reflect on the whole session. And now beginning to consider the journey back. So maybe bringing some gentle movement in, fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, maybe your shoulders. Whatever feels good, whatever your body needs right now. Keeping it very gentle. Maybe you want to stretch or yawn. And if your eyes are still closed, gently blinking them open and looking round the space that you know and at familiar things. And then remembering, as well as being in your physical space, you're also in the Zoom room. Beginning to consider coming back to the Zoom room. Maybe that's rolling onto your side if you're lying down and just taking a few breaths. And slowly making your way back to join us in the Zoom room.
And just whilst you're doing that, as ever, I'm going to bring your attention to the links and the information in the chat box or underneath here somewhere if you're watching the recording. And the first thing that I need to say actually isn't written down. The first thing I need to say is that it's our birthday tomorrow. And whilst we'd love to receive your gift of a subscribe or a review, we'd actually like to give you a gift. So we're offering 6 months access to 12 months? 12 months access. I misread. 12 months access to the top tier in our Exhale library. And that gives you access to the two breathworks that we have listed, our monthly breathwork session around astrology. I don't know how somebody managed to do that, but we have birthday things happening. That's exciting. And also our evening breathwork retreat based around the Celtic tree calendar. So those two things are included in the top tier. Oh, and along with the moon circle that I do as well. So if you would like to be considered for that, all you have to do, if you're in the community, there's a community post and you can just say yes, please in there. If you're not in the community, you can join the community for free. So our first tier is free. The link is in there, community.theexhaleawakening.com. If you don't want to be in the community, I mean, I don't understand why not, but if you don't, that's fine too. The email that we sent you for you to get into here with the link and things, you can just press reply on that and we'll gather everything up. And what we're asking, I think, is that you just let us know why you'd like to be in the community. And we're not gonna pick based on what you write. So don't worry, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. We're going to put everything into a hat, into the birthday hat, and we're going to pick one out, and we'll announce it next week. And also, whilst you're doing that, for next week, we're giving you carte blanche. So if as you apply or just on one of those posts, you tell us what your favorite breath is, we will make a breath work built up of of your favorite breaths. So we'd love to know what they are, and we're looking forward to that. The last link in the chat is our directory listing. If you'd like to get in touch with us for any reason and you're not in the community, you can do so there. And also, if you'd like to give us a happy birthday celebration message, there is a review thing where you can tell people how much you've enjoyed the session, because we're sure you have. Just before I turn off the recording, a little bit of self-care. Do take care of yourself. This has been a gentle session, but I'm loving all the birthday cakes. This has been a gentle session, but the impact is nevertheless powerful. So just take care of yourself, drink water, look after yourself with food, sleep, rest, all of the things that you know your body needs, whatever they are, then give yourself the gift of that as you move out of the breath. I am going to pause the recording in a second and we're going to open the space up for Hearth and Voices. If you are listening to this on a recording and you want to leave us a message, then we will look out for them and we'll hold you in whatever you want to share in that space too. And on that note, I'm going to pause the recording.